Hi guys, and welcome to another unboxing. It is me, your host, Morton, one of several, one of 9, well, 3. Anyway, today I am unboxing something that I have been a fan of since I was a little kid, and that sounds kind of weird because I've been a fan of all of Tolkien since I was a little kid, but when I was, I don't even know how old I was. Way before I knew about the Lord of the Rings, my dad told me and my brother about The Hobbit, but not in the usual way. He didn't read the book aloud to us. What he did was he told us the different, the different chapters or anecdotes as he remembered them. So he would tell us about the wolves and hunting them into the trees and all that stuff. And one of the ones that I liked the most as a kid that he told me was about the 3 trolls. So I've been excited for a long time, and I feel like because that was like it was that and Smaug, that was like the most exciting thing for me as a kid. So now getting to finally own the trolls, and by the way, I should say they totally lived up to everything I could have dreamed up in the movies. They're perfect, absolutely perfect. I don't care what anyone says. Those 3 trolls are the 3 trolls. So anyway, I got this box kind of cheap. I mean, no, so it wasn't cheap, but compared to Games Workshop, it was cheap. I got it for about £37.5, and then that's excluding shipping, so it was about £42 with shipping. So it's still about £8. £42, that makes sense? Yeah, £42, yeah, so about £8 less than what Games Workshop would sell them for, which is a great deal for me. But how about we just go straight ahead and unbox it, and we can be excited about it, because I'm really excited about it, and I've seen the miniatures. I've actually played with them too in store, so, the ones that the store had painted up and stuff in Games Workshop, but I haven't seen them on the sprue ever yet, so I'm really excited. So let's take a look. So here we have the box. What a nice little box. Okay, so I have to figure out how to open this. I decided to do it all on camera because, great content. Yes, and let's just tear this apart. So, really, if I had been smart, I had talked about why I talked about this, tell me you guys the story about what these trolls that I just told you while I was doing this, because then you would have had something to listen to as I try and unwrap this box. I can say a few more things, obviously. Some of you, in case you're aware, maybe you don't own them or you just haven't really looked into the profiles of these trolls, but Games Workshop did do a mistake, make a mistake, in the profiles, and it's not that the profiles are necessarily wrong, but what they did is that they, between Tom and Bert, they must have accidentally, I imagine, switched the names and the descriptions in the pictures, because it says, for example, it says that, I think it says Bert is the weakest one. Now let me explain to you. So this is the picture they have. No, sorry. This is the picture they have, and they call this guy Tom. He's actually Bert, but they say that he's Tom, and he's the weakest one, or the one with the lingering cold. Now anyone who's seen the movie knows that this one is the one with the cold. This one is Tom. So I don't know what they do at tournaments, but I imagine that everyone pretty much agrees on the fact that this is Tom, who uses the profile that has the lingering cold, and this is the one that is the cook, who's the middle ground. So he's the Bill. He's the best one. He's the second best, and he's the weakest one. That's basically it. And to further prove that it's not just that Games Workshop must have had the real knowledge, because when you look in the back of the book, they are labeled with the correct names. So it must simply have been an editing mistake, I imagine, putting the wrong name and the wrong picture together and all that, bad stuff like that. So yeah, and certainly if I had a tournament or was invited to a tournament, I would make sure to use the right models, because it would drive me insane to use the wrong model for the wrong thing. Anyway, let us open this, and there is a lot of sprues. Wow. Wow. I am looking at this, not through the camera, but no, just in real life. They are way bigger than I realized. I mean, I've played with them before, but when you see them on the sprue, this head. Here's another. Let me just pull this cave troll forward. I know cave troll's obviously smaller, but let's pull this cave troll smaller. Oh, by the way, I did not paint this guy. I got him like that, so I'm just gonna fix that. Look at the difference in the head size. Is that the normal size head for like a mortal troll? Is that how big all of the trolls' heads are? I should know. I've played against them. Anyway, that's a big troll. So let me just get the other sprues out as well. Here I have what I think is an assembly guide. Yes, that's very handy to have. Thank you, Games Workshop, for making an assembly guide. I think it's maybe a sprue for each troll, something like that. Oh, and here we also have the campfire. So this is definitely based on the pose and the face over here. That's Tom. I can tell just from the pose. This one, that is Bill, also known as William. So let's get Bert out. Bert, there we have him. Okay, so those are the 3 sprues. What do we get? 7. 3 huge monster bases. And these are actually my first monsters. Well, quote unquote my first monsters. I obviously have these, and I also have this guy. But it's my first monsters that I bought since I came back into the hobby. The other ones I had, I got as a kid. So I haven't. The biggest thing I've painted is the cave troll that you see in the back there. I painted him very shortly after going to the hobby. I think he looks fine. I would probably, if I started a Mori army, I would go back and update the paint. But you don't care about that. This is an unboxing about this. I am very easily sidetracked. So let's take a look at the sprues one by one. See what we think of the quality of the sculpt. Well, this does not seem canon. He has A's at the bottom of his feet. Preposterous. Anyway, so Bert. I mean, look at that. I mean, obviously he's such a big miniature that it's easy to get a lot of detail on him. And they've succeeded. It's nice, hard plastic. Well, this certainly looks good. I'm excited to put this together. Let's see if we can get close up of his face. It's very interesting that he has the mouth is open, but that seems to be that's why you glue it on. So this part will stick out, and that must be the tongue. Yeah. So I imagine that there won't be a hole by the end once you've glued it all together. So that looks very interesting. Very good. Look at this guy. Again, just such good details and interesting poses too. And I know that some of them, I don't know if it's all of them, I think it's just 2 of them have some variety in what you can do. So we have this guy. You can either give him a hand with a tree trunk, or you can give him a spoon. Yes, because he's the wimpy one, so of course he gets a spoon. This guy you can give a fork, or a big tree trunk. And this guy, I believe, only has one weapon, which is this filleting knife. As you may remember in the movie, he asks for that, so that he can skin Bilbo. At least I believe he's the one who asks for that. I don't. It might actually be. No, it's definitely. It is. I think it's him who asks for the filleting knife in the movie. That would make sense because he's armed with that here. So yeah, that looks very good. Let's take a look at this assembly guide to see how easy it is to assemble them. I mean, it's probably actually a few hours it'll take to get. I imagine the assembly will take a while, but I'm up for the job, I hope. I have some green stuff, so I should be able to cover any holes that might appear. These will join my ranks of miniatures that I want to paint in the near future, definitely, because I really want to do something else than a tiny miniature. Oh my gosh, they're so huge. I'm just looking over at all the other miniatures, and suddenly these miniatures seem really small compared to. Let's take a Thorin here. Yeah, this is throwing better heads. Yeah, that's quite a big difference. And obviously that's what we want, because dwarves and trolls should not look like they're the same size. Okay, let me think, should I talk about the profile? I should talk about the profile, so just a second, I'll go get my book. Hi guys, so I'm back and I have a book in hand down here. You can't get to look at all the pictures and, well, it's mostly the price values that I can't show you. Even though I'm sure you can find them somewhere, but you should buy the book. Yeah. Actually though, you can actually get these for free, so it shouldn't be a problem. They are on the Black Library on Games. If you go on the Black Library, which is official Games Workshop stuff, in case you don't know, they did release the Hobbit, the first one they released for free, and then they released the full one for the third one. So the only one where you can't find the profiles online for the Hobbit is Desolation of Smaug. Did I just say Smaug? I sound like I'm from New Zealand. Smaug. That's better. Anyway, so starting with Bill / William, meaning that's where my box is. Williams, that's the guy in the middle. Okay, middle guy. The middle guy. He is movement 6, fight 7, 5 pluses to hit with ranged, strength 7, defense 7, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, 4 courage, 3 might, 1 will, and 1 fate. That's a very good stat line right away. And I think just all of his runes, he's definitely worth his points. I mean, obviously the drawback for these is that they can't lead any troops. That won't be a problem. Let's see, he has a magic pass, which basically what it does is that people who surround him can never double their attacks against him when he's trapped. And he also... see, was there anything else? No, that's what it does, yeah. People never make double strikes against him when he's trapped. He can also get a campfire, and that campfire basically is deployed before the first turn begins, anywhere on the board outside of the good deployment area, so that could be pretty much anywhere. If Tom, Bill, or Bert are within 6 inches of the campfire, they receive resistance to a magic special roll, and have +1 courage, so that's obviously a great little bonus. I mean, he's courage 4, so he's pretty okay with courage already, but the other trolls, I believe, are both courage 3. No, it's actually only Tom who's courage 3, even though the book says it's Bert, it's Tom that's courage 3. He has terror and throw stones, and terror is always handy. Throw stones, specifically, it says in the errata that it is a strength 8 stone, unlike the normal throw stones, and I believe it's 8 inches. I might be wrong, but I think it's 8 inches that he can throw a stone. I don't see many reasons to do that. This is a 5+ to hit. Generally, it just doesn't seem worth it to throw stones as trolls, which I think is a little bit sad. I think they should have a bonus to hit bigger targets or something like that. Like, if you want to throw a stone at another troll or End or Moonbug, Smaug, something like that, they should have a much better chance of hitting just to make it worth it. Or against siege targets, that would be good. Like, their throw stones should have, like, give extra, like, yeah, extra wounds, maybe, extra damage against siege targets. Anyway, I digress. He has Keep Him for Later, which is basically that he can bag his foes and paralyze them, like in the movie. And all the 3 trolls have Keep Him for Later. He also have Mince and Fine, which is a brutal power attack. And basically what that does is, let me just read. He may choose to Mince and Fine, blah blah blah. Choose the loser in the fight. That model rolls a d6, and so does Bill. Add the strength value together. If Bill wins, the victim suffers a number of wounds equal to the difference. So generally he will be higher strength when he chooses to do that. He won't choose to do that if he's not. And that will could be a lot of wounds. And if he doesn't succeed in giving those wounds, the loser, who isn't him obviously, will still back away. So that's Bill. Great value. I think all 3 are great value actually. They're really cool. I'm so excited. Bert has a lingering cold. He can basically sneeze and half the fight value of a target he's fighting, which means, because he's fight 6, that if he does that to someone, it's obviously he will always be the high fight value in the duel. essentially. Because obviously, if there is a, even if if someone is fight 10, he sneezes on them, they're fight 5. He's high fight value. He's always going to be the highest fight value in a duel. That's great. Lingering Curls is actually really good. He also has Roast Him Slowly, Brutal Power Attack. Which basically says that instead of making normal strikes, if he's within 6 inches of the campfire, choose a losing model in the fight and remove it from play, replacing it with touching the fire. The model is immediately set ablaze, as explained on page 83. So he can set people on fire. He also has Terror, Throw Stones, and Keep them for later. And lastly, but not least, let's just change the camera angle, so my arm's getting tired. I know, weakling. Now we have Bert. Even though the book says Tom, this is Bert. And it's not the model they show, it's the model that they show as... You get it by now. He has a stat line that is similar to William's, by the way. Tom's is slightly lower. He has 1 less strength and defense than the other ones. And he only has 1 might, but 3 will. So yeah. The reason he has 3 will is because the Lingering Cold, it costs the will to sneeze on someone. So, suddenly, which makes sense, I guess. I mean, they have to use some mechanic for it. So sap will on him. That's the one troll in the game, probably, that you would want to sap will on. So finally we have Bert. He has Terror, Throw Stones, Keep him for later. Then he has the special Squash him to jelly. Basically he stumps on the ground, and when Tom wants a fight, he may opt to squash him to jelly instead of making strikes normal. Every enemy model involved in the fight, not those supporting with spears or pikes, suffers a string 7 hit. Any who survives are knocked prone. So this is something you want to do if there are 4 more people surrounding you, I think. Yeah, 4 more people surrounding you, because otherwise you can... Actually, it's something you might want to do if there's even 3, because let's say there's 3 enemy warriors and him. Well, he could choose to make 1 strike in each of them, but if he uses his Brutal Power Attack, he will get 1 strike in each of them, and the survivors are knocked prone. So, it's just great value. Maybe if he's charged by some riders, he will knock them all prone, knock them off those mounts. So yeah, that is their profiles. You have now seen the sculpts, which look great. I will go ahead and see if I can start cutting them off and assembling one of them right now. So, thank you for watching. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this very in-depth look at the 3 trolls, whom I love so dearly. I'd actually forgotten how much I love them. But I do. So, I just said comment, like, share, and subscribe. What's next? Support your Hobbit hobby. Go to tournaments in Denmark, because there will be tournaments at some point. There is one the week that this video comes out, but it's too late to apply for it, so look out for the next one. Who knows who will make a tournament? That's not a confirmation, that is just a suggestion, but we'll see. Someone will make a tournament at some point. Make sure to check our Facebook page, support your Hobbit hobby, and happy strategy battle gaming.